Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Where have you been? Sorry, where have I been? My apologies. If you missed me for the last couple of weeks, uh, I have been working. I guess you can call that word. I've been working, but I missed you guys. I miss doing this. I miss everything about this. I miss talking baseball. Don't get me wrong. I've been following baseball. I've been watching baseball. Baseball is me, my life, me, myself, and I is all baseball. Trust me. I have not missed a beat. But with that being said, I am here. I am here. A couple of technical difficulties trying to get going. I appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who shares. My name is again Amir Sharaz Ortiz, aka Poppy Ortiz 02. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter on that handle. I guess they say right, the handle Poppy Ortiz 02. This is a special anniversary edition of Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. I appreciate everybody out there for watching, for sharing, for loving what we do, what I do, uh, for supporting us, supporting the All Sports Matters podcast group. You know, we're enjoying this. We enjoy what we do. We're just a bunch of brothers watching sports. So let's get down to business. Business. I guess little business. Um, Obviously, there's no way to get around it. Everybody's been, for those of you, even those that don't even follow baseball, know what's going on in the world of baseball, and that is the chase for history. Okay, the chase for history. Let's see where we're at. We're there. You go, the 60 home run club at American League history. Now, here's one thing I'm gonna throw out early. I'm gonna throw it out a little bit early, get it out the way. A lot of people have problems. Uh, Either way, a lot of baseball writers, they're the ones who obviously do the Hall of Fame, but they're saying if Aaron Judge breaks the American League record, which was the Major League Baseball record prior to Mark McGwire breaking it in 96, Barry Bonds breaking it in 2000, 2001, I believe, or 2002. Yeah. Does this mean that he owns the overall baseball home run record by getting 62? Now, we live in an era, obviously, everything is full of asterisks. Everything we do is full of asterisks. Whether it is a bubble World Series win like the Dodgers did before, we can even tie the Lakers into that, or it's the steroid the steroid era. Um, we can go either or, right? We're not even sure um, where it goes. Does Aaron Judge, if he gets 62, this is the question I have for the public. And yes, we are live. If Aaron Judge gets 62 home runs, do you make him the all-time home run leader? So that's something that needs to be addressed, something that's been talked about. There's a lot of controversy. A lot of people don't recognize Barry Bonds as that dude. So is he? Ain't he? Ain't he? Isn't he? I do. For those wondering, for those looking for my opinion, obviously this is my show, so my opinion matters. Um, I say yes. Barry Bonds' record of 73 home runs. Okay, so it matters. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Fleck. Major League never wiped it from the record book, so it's still there. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Whether you can put an asterisk to it or not, obviously that is her personal opinion, which I will not. I won't knock your opinion. I won't. It's to say many uses we're on the subject. Many of you out there, and I'm talking to the media mainly, and I got some sprinkled dust here and there, friends who talk baseball. And I get it. Baseball is not the popular topic when it comes to sports, but the media will say Shohei Ohtani is your MVP and not Aaron Judge. And I will get to those numbers here in a minute because that's something that needs to be addressed. You know, I'm not going either or. Yes, I am a Yankees fan. Everybody knows I am a Yankees fan, but I am a biased media member as well. So I will get to that in a minute. But does he, doesn't he? here's something to keep in mind because we're talking about history. Okay, we're again talking about history. I don't want to keep jumping back and forth, so I'm gonna leave one of the major topics here. I'll get to that here in a second because I don't want to jump from Judge to Pujols to Valdez back to Judge. So I just want to stay on the subject. No, I'm not talking 40 minutes Yankees, Fleck. I know that's what you're thinking about, but the American League record came down to obviously 3 Yankees, as you can see there. It was Maris, Ruth, and Judge, who has 60. Vegas has all the prop bets. Does he break it this weekend? Does he tie it tonight? They got the Red Sox for the next 4 games. So that rivalry counts. For those of you that don't know, and the only reason I'm saying that is because Boston is so bad right now. And this show is not about Boston. It is about this record right now. I'm not even going to talk about the Yankees. This is about the record. Does the record, if Judge hits 62 home runs or however he finishes with, is that the new record for the for Major League Baseball? So that's something to talk about, something to see. Right now, Judge is MVP. I'm just reading these comments right now. Ohtani is having his Ohtani. Well, okay, let me just say this: what Ohtani does and is doing is history in the making. We will probably won't see that, and that's probably what they said about Babe Ruth in the past, So is he, ain't he, won't he, so I don't know what are we talking about there, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of tough. I'm not going to get, so since we're on the subject, let's talk about this portion of what Aaron Judge is doing. Triple Crown winner, right? Triple Crown is a rarity in sports. I would give y'all I'm gonna give y'all a trivia question. I know I don't have that many out there. The previous winner, Triple Crown winner, was Miguel Cabrera. That's easy. That's an easy one. My question to the public is, who won the Triple Crown prior to Miguel Cabrera? So if I can get an answer there, I'll give y'all a shout out or whatnot. We're not balling a wrist to give you a prize. No, we don't have tickets to a game. Maybe someday. Who knows? We're all able to dream, right? But we're talking about a Triple Crown. What's a Triple Crown? The Triple Crown is one person leading in the batting average, home runs, and RBIs. Okay, so let me throw out some numbers here, and this goes hand in hand with the MVP. Aaron Judge's first in home runs was 60, first in RBIs of 128, first in batting average of 316. That's obvious. You can see that for yourself. You can read. I'm not insulting intelligence. Let's go behind the scenes just a little bit. 123 in runs scored. He has walked 93 times, 372 total bases, a 412 on-base percentage, and a 703 slugging percentage. I don't see anybody chiming in on, I'm going to give you a few more minutes on who was the previous Triple Crown winner prior to Miguel Cabrera. It's huge, okay? Because look, Miguel Cabrera won a Triple Crown in 2012. Let me throw that out there, okay? And the hint to the question is, prior to Miguel Cabrera, it hasn't been done in like forever, okay? So what's going on, B? So prior to Miguel Cabrera, who won the Triple Crown prior to Miguel Cabrera? The hint is it hasn't been done in forever before that. So Miguel Cabrera, 2012, a 330 batting average, 44 home runs, and 139 RBIs. So that is huge. Okay, that is huge. And I know the answer, so I'm not answering. Okay. Sure. Okay, we can go back to that meme I created. Like I just put my hands up. Again, everybody who's watching now, welcome to another edition, the anniversary edition that I haven't named it. So Aaron Judge, that is absolutely correct. Carl Yastrzemski. That's why he can't do it. I can't spell his name. I had to look it up too. I knew the answer, but I had to look up just how to spell his name as well. Carl Yastrzemski in 1967. Prior to that, so imagine this is how huge this record would be if Aaron Judge completes this feat. Okay, so I'm just saying, to me it's insane. I'm trying to get it in order here, and if my statistician is on the road right now, so I just want you guys to know that he's still in jeopardy of losing the batting average. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. Why? Because there's a guy called Xander Bogaerts out there in Boston, who's may not be in Boston after this season, is right behind him in the Triple Crown watch. So I just want to do a quick correction. I know the screen says 316 batting average, but after last night's games, both Judge and Xander Bogaerts both have a 317 batting average. And the irony of all that is they play each other the next 4 games. So that should be an intriguing series. As bad as Boston is or may be, obviously there's some underlying fanfare, I guess. Does Judge hit those home runs against Boston? That could bring another wrinkle in what we call the Yankee Red Sox rivalry, which I don't think is much of a rivalry. What do you say, Betts? It's not much of a rivalry. One side always wins, right? But that's just me. Okay. So they're at home the next 4 games. So I believe Judge will win the next 4 games. Will not win, but he will hit at least 2 home runs the next 4 games. I believe that. I do. Okay. It's very possible. You're absolutely right, David, that Judge may not be in the Yankees uniform next year. And we'll discuss that in the offseason for the free agent. Here's the free agent show of Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. But today, again, is the anniversary show of Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. So we're excited, man. We're excited. We're doing this thing. We're talking. We're having a great time. And let's talk some baseball. But here's the history you guys are waiting on. Albert Pujols at 698. Can Albert Pujols hit 700? Can he? Won't he? May he? I want him to. Again, I will never speak evil or speak bad about history. I've been an Albert Pujols fan since he started at third base for the St. Louis Cardinals. I just want to throw that out there. You guys may not know that. Albert Pujols started at third base in his career. Once he got a little bit older, a little bit pudgier, obviously first base was where he can continue his career. First base and DH. Now, here's some numbers to throw at you. Albert Pujols at 698. If he hits 2 more, can and will become the fourth member in Major League Baseball history to hit 700 and plus home runs. I won't throw a trivia question out there because I think it's kind of obvious who they are. Barry Bonds sits at 762. Hank Aaron, Hammering Hank at 755. Babe Ruth, 714. And obviously, our Pujols is 4th in Major League Baseball history. Man, that's crazy, right? 4 guys. If he can make 2 more home runs. Now, I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping he doesn't get stopped short like Stan Ross. I keep bringing that analogy up. For those of you who don't know who Stan Ross is, look him up. He was a folklore in Milwaukee, and the actor was even better legend in his field. Okay, the late great Bernie Mac. Stan Ross fell short by 1. Mr. 3000 ended up being Mr. 299. Spoiler alert for those of you who've never seen the movie. My apologies. Sorry, not sorry. But Albert Pujols, can he do it? Here's the issue with me. Not with me, but Major League Baseball. Let me reiterate that. Albert Pujols, his next games, okay, here's the issue. Everybody's saying he should be playing. I think he should. Last night there were being no hit. And Albert Pujols comes in the game and gets a base hit, first hit of the game against Blake Snell, San Diego. They're in a pennant chase. Okay, again, this is the pennant chase is usually the last month of the season where everybody's trying to get their division crown. The pennant chase was named because this is before the wild card era, for these who don't know. So when you go to your prospective ball fields, the stadiums or arenas or parks, you will see their pennants, their flags, like I got up here, but you can't see in the stadium. I'll tell you that you won a division. Remember, way back when, there was only 2 playoff teams per league. So you won your pennant, and you moved on automatically to the American League or the National League Championship Series, and then the World Series. We have evolved, obviously. Yes or no? Real quick question: Is this too many teams in the playoffs? I just want to throw that out there. Since we're on the subject of pennant chases, are we too many teams in the playoffs? So I'm going to quickly remove Stan Musial. I got the sun blazing in my face. My apologies. But there is, 6 teams going into the playoffs this year. This is for the first time, right? So for those of you who don't know, 6 teams per league makes it the playoffs. The top 2 gets by. Now, for the first time as well, there is no reseeding, which means the 3 will play the 6, and if the 6 happens to win, they will play the 2 seed regardless. Okay, so maybe that's an advantage, maybe it's not. I don't know. The number 1 seeds, obviously, the Dodgers have pretty much sealed their fate. Yeah, where's the hat? Yeah, crazy, right? I'm trying to prove to the world I got hair. I got a hairline. Don't have much gray hair. No, I do not color my hair. So I just feel like dressing up for the special anniversary edition of Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. Comment was made that extra wild card is too much for me. It's part of the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. This is what the players wanted, as well as the owners. Obviously, the owners, they get money off every playoff game, TV deals, et cetera, blase, as they say. But this is what they want. But going back to the playoffs, I want to reiterate how the playoffs look this season, okay? And to do that, I think I'm going to go straight into the standings to help you guys out as we go along. And yes, let's do this. What do we got? Boom. The American League standings as we speak. These are the playoff standings. This is where your playoff team stands right now. This will back up everything I had to say. Houston is way ahead. 9-game lead over the Yankees for the first seed in the American League, which is fine in my opinion. And they will get a bye, and they will have home field advantage through the American League playoffs. The Yankees at the playoffs was to end today. Will have the second seed. They too will have a bye, which is okay. They have injuries, and I will get to that here in a minute. Minute. Let's go in minutes. A couple of minutes. And the Cleveland Guardians, even though they have a lesser, I'm not going to use the word worse, it's not worse, lesser of a record than those wildcard teams, they will take the 3rd seed, being the American League Central Division winners. So the playoffs, as we stand right now, got the Toronto Blue Jays, the first wild card, Tampa Bay, second wild card, and the Seattle Mariners, the 3rd wild card. Here's a team that we haven't seen play for a playoff, which is Seattle, and following them is the Baltimore Orioles. Okay? Now, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays is intriguing because they have a 4-game series this weekend. Now, they split. No, nothing to do about this show or my statements. But what if Toronto decides to sweep the Rays? And Baltimore can jump right on and the Rays can jump right on down. So I'm trying to give a little drama. Obviously, baseball drama is not as much as the other sports, but there's drama nonetheless. So if the playoffs were to end today, the Cleveland Guardians will play the Seattle Mariners in the first round. The Rays will play the Blue Jays. the Rays will play the Blue Jays as well in the first round. The winners of those, the winners of the Cleveland Guardians and the Seattle Mariners series will play the Yankees, okay, in the first round, in the second round, excuse me. And the Astros will play the winner of the Rays and Blue Jays. So just to let you know, there's no reseeding. There's no the lower seed like the NFL does in playoffs. Major League Baseball went away with that. And these are your American League teams. It's intriguing. I too. Well, Baltimore is kind of far out, being at 4. There's like 12, 13, 14 games, depending on who you are, left. So bearing a huge letdown or disparity, like I said, I was just trying to build drama here. That's the only reason I try to include them, in the equation. But if some reason the Blue Jays decides to mollywop the Rays, okay, then guess what? Orioles might maybe find their way in. These are your National League playoff edition. Now, we already talked about the LA Dodgers way ahead of everybody else. They're the first to 100, the first to 103. You can say the first to 102 if you want to. They're the only team that has 100 victories so far. So we already know that the playoffs, period, the World Series will run through LA. We get that. I don't see them, granted, they're 4 games ahead of the Astros, being 4 games ahead of the Astros, 12, 13 games left. We don't know if they're going to catch up. I doubt that. Okay, put that on the board. Yes, I will bet on that. So bet with me. The Dodgers will, okay, be the number 1 seed. So the World Series will run through LA. With that being said, both the Mets and Braves both clinched. Okay, I just wanted for the record that the Mets clinched first and the Braves clinched second. For the casual fan, you won't get that analogy, but that one fan will. Okay. Now, the Mets more than likely will be the 2nd seed going into the National League playoffs. I think the huge important race we do have here is the Mets and Braves. We do. I believe they have a 3-game series coming up. So that division, the National League East, is far from over. So is it important? Is it not important? I believe it is. Injuries will always dictate more rustier pitchers. Having a 5-day break, I don't know what the playoff schedule is looking like, but the first round is a 5-game series, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's a 3-game series. All 3 games will be in the higher seed or the higher division winner or the higher record, and they will host. Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's important to dodge the Dodgers. But here's your issue there, casual or fanatic Braves fan. The Braves can be the 4th seed and still have to play the Dodgers in the second round. So yes, it is important to dodge the Dodgers. I get that analogy. I get it. So it's important to win your division here. It's hugely important. And also you have the Padres in that first round. So I don't know if I want to play the Padres. Hugh Darvish, Blake Snell is coming along. So the Braves have a lot to play for. They do. The Braves got a lot to play for. And man, baseball is going to be exciting in the next couple of weeks. I'm telling you, I can't be the only one that gets excited. Okay. So now here's the only other race in baseball to keep an eye on, and that is the Philadelphia Phillies being that third seed wild card team going in, and the Milwaukee Brewers right behind them sitting at 2.5. So that is something else to look at. So we'll see how these races go. I think I am going to jump from there to see how your teams go, and I am going to queue up the power rankings. And there we go. All right. Let's see. Obviously, we just talked about the Dodgers. Okay. I'm not going to, I don't know where their expression came from to beat a dead horse, but I don't deal with Dodger horses and I ain't beating anybody. So, Dodgers sit at 103 and 46 losses in Major League season is huge. Also, keep in mind the Major League record for wins is still there. We're talking about historic feats, right? The Dodgers are still playing for the best team of all time, which is tied with the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles way back early 1900s. But the Dodgers, first team to 100 wins. We already said that. Everybody talked about the Freddie Freeman signing prior to the season. Is Matt Olson that dude in Atlanta to replace Freddie Freeman? But I believe the Dodgers won the signings when it came to Freddie Freeman, who leads the National League and Major League, if you think about it, with a 330 batting average, 190 base hits. The team leads the league in runs scored, RBIs, on base percentage, slugging percentage. So the Dodgers up and down. And that's not even talking about quite possibly the best pure baseball player in Major League Baseball, and Mookie Betts. So imagine that. He deals with his injuries here and there, but the pitching is number one in baseball as well, with a 2.81 ERA and a batting average against a .208 batting average. Teams are hitting against the Dodgers pitchers. How can his team get better? I'll tell you how to get better. Tony Gonsolin today is pitching against live hitters. Blake Trinan started throwing on the side. He had 20 pitches the other day. They're not optimistic about Blake Trinan, but they are optimistic about Tony Gonsolin coming out of the bullpen and pitching for the Dodgers in the playoffs. So that's huge, man. That it is. They lead most runs scored and most runs allowed. Least runs allowed. Excuse me. That is huge. You're absolutely right. That is insane to me. This team here, as we're seeing as a team, not getting on the West Coast. A lot of people don't stay up to watch their games, but I try, and a little bit I do catch. They put on the show. This team plays baseball, and they're the Vegas favorites in betting. And let's see how that goes. The second is the Astros, obviously out in the American League, and Astros, even without banging the drums or banging the trash cans, are still banging the baseball. So 99-51, they got a plus 211 run differential. And it's crazy to imagine that Justin Verlander is still the top pitcher in the American League to this day. He leads the major leagues, leads the majors, not just the American League, the majors, with a 1.7 ERA, earned runs allowed. Astros been on fire. I get it. They're a product of their division. They're the equivalent of how the Patriots were coming out of the AFC East. The only difference is the Patriots at least closes the race every other year, while the Astros have only won once. So I just want to throw it out there. I'm not a hater. Granted, I do dislike the Astros, but I do like a couple of their players. I've been an Altuve fan. I do enjoy his playing. Miniature size, has all heart. You can't hate on Jose Altuve. Astros have been on fire. 9-1 the last 10 games. So it's crazy, man. Sitting at third is the New York Mets, 95-86. They're one game up on Atlanta. I think I'll bring these two teams together because fourth is Atlanta. So these two will be tied together for the rest of the season, as they have been since we entered September. These two have been together. A couple of crazy stats I'm going to throw at you. In the modern era of baseball, the New York Mets just broke a weird record of most players getting hit by the pitch. Yeah. 106 batters got hit by the pitch this season, led by Mark Cahan, who got hit 24 times. So I had to pause there because it's not usually a stat, that's celebrated. Yeah, celebrated. Not a celebrated stat, but it happens. But on the plus side, the Mets starters lead the league in strikeouts and innings pitched. Obviously, the ground coming back has been huge. Scherzer came back this past week and pitched 6 no hit, perfect 6 innings, no hits, no walks before he got pulled. And speaking of pitchers, since we're on the subject, third and fourth, Atlanta Braves. Kyle Wright nobody's talking about Kyle Wright. Not even Braves fans are talking about Kyle Wright. You know, all the credit goes to Strider or it goes to Max Fried, but not even Braves fans. And it's not a knock to my Braves fans. It's not. But I lived in Georgia 5, 6, 7 years, and this is not story time. And even Braves fans don't really talk about their team until they get to the playoffs and be like, oh, here we are. So I got a bunch of Braves fans, and even on their Facebook, ain't nobody talking about Kyle Wright. They are talking about they made the playoffs. Great job. Not hating on that. But Kyle Wright is 19-5, 3.18 ERA, and he's still not the betting favorite to win the Cy Young according to Vegas. I don't know who does the numbers, who does the voting, but if he's the only pitcher to win 20 games and has a barely 3 ERA, does that not deserve Cy Young votes? I'm confused here. Somebody help me out, because all the hype has been on Alcantara from Miami, which it should be. Has been a Urias from the Dodgers, Max Fried, and a name nobody has really talked about, but has shown up this season to just be a shutdown pitcher, is Zach Gallen from the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I guess he's winning, but not winning pretty, or I don't know. Somebody help me out. But I want to put his name in the hat. If nobody else does it, I am doing it for the Atlanta Braves nation, the Atlanta Braves fan base, the Atlanta Braves home. Kyle Wright, 19-5, 3.18 ERA. There's a reason Atlanta Braves drafted this kid in the first round. I don't remember the year. I believe it was 2016, 2017. I think it was the 5th overall, first round, something along those lines. I don't remember. I don't have it written down. I promise you I don't. No, Cy Young goes to the best pitcher, period. Most valuable player goes to the best player on any team, but what has the most valuable player done for that team, to answer your question? So the Cy Young goes to the best pitcher. I don't know if he did cry young on purpose or not, but Cy Young goes to the best pitcher. You got to remember, Randy Johnson won in 1 year, going 13-13. Jacob deGrom won it, going 13-11. So I don't know. It's supposed to be the best pitcher. Obviously, their ERAs was below 2. Granted, their team sucked, so we'll see how that goes. Another injury note: Ozzie Albies was injured last week. Fractured hand or fractured finger. He's going to be out the rest of the season. May or may not be back for the postseason. That's a huge loss for Atlanta. I'll tell you that in a heartbeat. Sitting at number 5 in the St. Louis Cardinals, who is quite possibly was the hottest team in baseball. They died down a little bit, 5-5 in the last 10 games. I had their schedule written down here. Yeah. Dodgers, Brewers, Pirates, the last 6 games of the season. That's why I believe they will close out. And I'm hoping they will let Albert Pujols play all 6 games, bat him first, okay, in Pittsburgh, and let him get to 700. It's not breaking the record, but let the man get 700 home runs so we can celebrate him. I am a baseball fanatic. I will celebrate Albert Pujols at 700, okay? So that's huge. But back to the Cardinals, they have a 2-headed monster that's just insane. Paul Goldschmidt batted .321, 102 RBIs, 35 home runs. If it wasn't for Kyle Schwarber out in Philly, Goldschmidt would have been in the running for the Triple Crown in the National League. So that's huge. That's huge. Okay. Goldsmith had 35 home runs, I believe. Schwarber somewhere in the 40s. So can it be done? Yes, but I doubt it. Yes, I'm a side to that comment. Jordan Montgomery is pitching like a Cy Young winner since he got traded. Not everybody can play or pitch in New York. You know, I said that time and time again. Yeah, you got me on that. You got me on that. I would have loved for them to keep him, but Harrison Bader has started this week with the Yankees. He's played a few games, has a hit in every game, couple of hits in couple games. So that trade is actually starting to flip a little bit, okay, for you Yankee haters. But I would have wished we'd have kept Jordan Montgomery. I wish we'd have traded somebody else for Harrison Bader. But Jordan Montgomery was definitely a keeper, especially since the Yankees are going through the injuries, and I'll get to them here in a second. Nolan Arenado, 297, 98 RBIs, 29 home runs. So the two-headed dragon, as they call him out there in St. Louis, they're hitting bombs under the arch of St. Louis. So St. Louis is going to be a tough out. They got Quintana, Jordan Montgomery, as they've said, and especially the old yellow favorite of Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina doing great things. They just broke a record, 395 most 325. 325. Most starts of a battery, which is the catcher-pitcher combination in Major League Baseball history. I should have had that since this is a historic anniversary edition of Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. Number 6, we have the New York Yankees sitting at 90-58, which is still a respectable record, a plus 222 run differential. I'm hoping they get their juju back, their mojo, as they say. 4 games against the Boston Red Sox. So let's see how that goes. They have the Texas Rangers. 4 games against Boston, 3 games against the Blue Jays, which is huge for the division. So the Blue Jays sweep out this weekend, and the Yankees somehow crap the bed. Maybe the Blue Jays can have a chance of winning the division. I doubt it, not as a Yankees fan, but I doubt it because of the numbers. So I think the Yankees will close out, win their division, 3 against the Orioles and 4 against the Texas Rangers, which they play here in Texas. They play here in Texas, so in Dallas. So I have a conundrum. Do I go to the game? Do I see if Aaron Rodgers hasn't broken that record already? Do I go and just get away? If the wifey is watching this, I'm just throwing it out there so she can't say I surprised her with it when I go. That's what do we got? Severino came back yesterday from the injured list. This is a name you haven't heard of in a while. Zach Britton activated today. DJ LeMahieu has been out, and I said Harrison Bader already returned. So I'm not going to continue and just harper on the Yankees because whether I go 4 minutes, my boy Fleck believes I go 40 minutes every time I go 4 minutes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move on to number 7. 7 and 8 are tied together. For those of you that don't know, because the Blue Jays and Rays are neck and neck, as we saw, 2-game difference in the record. They play each other 4 games this weekend. So I believe this weekend series is detrimental to both. Why is that? Because whoever comes in 4th gets to host that playoff series. So that is huge. And I'm telling you, this is weird. I got to slow down so you guys can catch it. They're hosting the entire series. The first round, only 1 team hosts. Okay? So if Atlanta has that 3rd seed, which I believe they will, or the Mets, whoever doesn't win a division, they host the entire series. Here goes series. Going off. See, series didn't even listen to me. That's huge. So the Astros and Rays, which I believe will finish 4 and 5 in the playoff seedings, the 4th seed will host the entire series. First round only. Okay, the second round, they travel to their respective teams. So it's huge. I can't tell you guys enough how much it means for that team to be the top seed. Yes, that is huge. And it's only for the first round because it's a 3-game series, best of 3. You win 2 out of 3 at home. you move on and play the strong teams of the Astros, Dodgers, Yankees, and I believe the winner, the Mets and Braves. So I can't reiterate enough how big that is. So 7 and 8 they're tied together. They will be tied together for the rest of the season. The Seattle Mariners coming in at 9 is huge because huge news today, kind of breaking news. This happened about an hour ago. Julio Rodriguez left today's game with a lower back strain. Why is that huge? How is that huge? Because with Rodriguez playing, the Mariners are 72-56. Without Julio Rodriguez in the lineup, they're only 9-11. So you're about to go into the upper echelon of the playoffs, okay, of the top teams of Major League Baseball. I'm hoping, I will knock on wood for Julio Rodriguez. I'm already crowning him the American League Rookie of the Year. But can the Mariners sustain without them? They got the pitching, Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray, but and the best bullpen in baseball. Nobody's talking about that. I am. Mariners pitching is second to none. And I am talking about the Mets. I am talking about the Braves. I am talking about the Dodgers. I'm telling you, I will take the Mariners pitching staff over them. What I won't do is take the Mariners lineup. Okay, I will take anybody's lineup over the Mariners. But their pitching staff is second to none. And they already have Eugenio Suarez, who leads the team in home runs. He's already on a 10-day IL with a fractured finger. He went on last week over a hit by pitch. So the last thing the Mariners can do is limp into the playoffs, as well as can they hold out the Baltimore Orioles? So, Baltimore Orioles are 4-game back. If the Mariners go on a tailspin and the Baltimore Orioles win out, it's going to be interesting. I am creating the drama. For once, I am creating the drama because I'm hoping Baltimore Orioles gets eliminated the day of. I'm hoping, I was right. And I'm like, I told you so. So I am creating the drama because I love drama in baseball. All right? Not in my life, but in baseball. So I'm hoping the Baltimore Orioles gets that. I'm hoping they play up to the last weekend because it makes baseball exciting. Nobody wants to already decide the playoffs, a week beforehand. I'm hoping that Braves-Mets division gets settled the last weekend of baseball. That's going to be huge. Nobody's resting. Everybody's playing. And also they get that break. They get that 3 to 5 day break of not playing baseball, get healthier. Braves need it. I know that. For them to get Ozzie Albies back. The Mets need it to get Scherzer and his shoulder right. So that's going to be interesting. And rounding out the top 10 in the power rankings is the Cleveland Guardians. I think I'm getting used to saying it, right? So used to saying the Indians, Chief Wahoo, the Indians. So we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a name for those that might follow baseball or may not. Tristan McKenzie. He's been a solid pitcher up and down. Just pitched yesterday, 8 innings pitched, 13 Ks, 2 earned runs. But this is his third start this season with 10 plus Ks and no walks. So let's hope him and Shane Bieber become the 1 and 2 that the Guardians need out there in Cleveland going into the playoffs. They hold a 6.5 game lead currently against the Chicago White Sox. I believe they're in second. If not, it's the Minnesota Twins. Somebody correct me on that. I believe the White Sox is in second place and the Twins are in third. They kind of fell off. The Guardians are way ahead and leading the division. Since this is the Pride and Passion anniversary edition, as I call it, another record-breaking 25 quality starts has been broken. This record is, in fact, broken as of this week. Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros is the new leader in quality starts. What's a quality start, you ask? My live audience is asking, what's a quality start? A quality start is 6 innings pitched, giving up 3 runs or less. So imagine Framber Valdez doing that consecutively. Every 5 days, he goes out there and he pitches 6 innings with 3 runs or less. The record previous was held by Jacob deGrom. That's why I keep saying the Astros is going to be nasty. You got to worry about Justin Verlander game 1. You got to worry about Framber Valdez game 2, who's 16-5, 176 strikeouts. It's insane. It's insane, and geez, I would not want to play the Astros. That's why it's important to get that out of the 4th and 5th slot if you're in the American League, and in this case, I guess drop down to 6. No. So they'll play the 3 and 6, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. They'll play the 4 and 5. So if you're in the 4 and 5, play the Astros in the second round. I wouldn't want to be either one of those teams. So, but do you lose though to avoid the Astros in the second round? That's more drama. I just accidentally created more drama. Do you tank for the 6th seed to play the Yankees in the second round? Huh? That's something. I just created it. I'm hashtagging. I'm making it up as I go. All right. I'm creating this drama as I go. I didn't have anything premeditated, but do you tank to not play the Astros, to not face Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez? So that is important for a lot of teams who don't have the hitting like the Seattle Mariners. So let's go to the players of the week. Oh, wait, what just happened there? Yu Darvish, and again, an Astro. Yordan Alvarez. What did these guys do? Yu Darvish last week alone had 14 scoreless innings, 15 strikeouts in his 2 starts he had last week. He is heating up at the right time when the San Diego Padres need him. They needed freaking Fernando Tatis, but we're not going to get to that again. I don't want to be disappointed this week. Today is my anniversary. Our anniversary. This is the public's anniversary. We're not going to get upset today. And Yordan Alvarez had a .520 batting average with 5 home runs this past week. So imagine that. He is on fire. I'm trying to make sure I covered everything I was going to cover. Yes. And this past week, and on a somber note, Major League Baseball fans, the Brooklyn Dodgers nation, which obviously was the LA Dodgers nation, lost a great ball player. Okay, obviously I don't know him as a man, but I never heard anything bad. So I'm gonna say we lost a great human being, and the great Maury Wills, passed away this week in his home. Obviously, I'm getting a little somber because I don't want to get as excited to give some news like this. Some notes to pass on to Maury Wills. He was an MVP in 1962. Okay, let's liven it up a little bit. Here's a fun question. Maury Wills won the MVP in 1962. Who was the runner-up? And I will pause for dramatic effect. I will leave that out there for the Pride and Passion All Sports Matter podcast fan base. Hopefully get an answer. If you're Googling it, you're wrong. But let's put our minds to the 60s, in which baseball players were great, and I guarantee you'll get it right. He's known for being the man to steal bases. Maury Wills was. Stole a then Major League record 104 stolen base in 1962, the same year he won the MVP. The previous record for stolen bases was Ty Cobb, who had 92, I believe it was. But Maury Wills was a 5-time All-Star, 2-time Golden Glove. A little fun fact here: Maury Wills took over as shortstop for Pee Wee Reese. So that's another milestone, I could say, for a baseball fan to know. I say is a fun fact. But Maury Wills passed away this week. Is not Frank Robinson. That is close though. Willie Mays was number 2. Willie Mays was runner-up to Maury Wills in 1962. Again, baseball lost a huge face, a huge name, a huge, pioneer. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Pioneer. So that is my show. I kind of didn't want to end it on a somber note, but again, this is a anniversary edition of Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. Next week, we will be on a regular time of 7 Eastern, 6 Central. See, for those of y'all following, we will be there. Join us tomorrow. We have a long list of topics on the All Sports Matters podcast. That show will also be at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right? Yes? Right? Okay, we are. My crew is finally arriving little by little. So with that being said, I guess I can do, since we're talking about anniversaries, story time for me would be 2017 when I out of the blue, I don't know what was the as they say, the driving force of Pride and Passion. I think I was on a Facebook argument, which I'm always am, a Facebook debate, excuse me. We don't use the word argument. We don't want to be negative. And I was on somebody else's page, and I said, "Hey, I got to do my own thing. I'm everybody wants to be biased or unbiased and do their own teams and make sure their teams is highlighted in these sports conversations. But we got to make sure that so I want to do my own thing. So I trademarked Pride and Passion 2017, started a website that never got off the ground. I just want to throw that out there. I did start a website, but it never got off the ground. I'm still paying for the website, by the way. It's crazy. I'm paying for that website to never get off the ground. But it's there. It never went live. For those of you that want to Google it now, it's not a live thing. I was behind the scenes. But yes, I did. I started all that. I did all that. It was through Squarespace, free advertisement for you guys. I worked with Squarespace for a little bit and got it going. And I never pressed the live button because I wanted to be a free spirit in the world of sports. And it's obviously led me to the All Sports Matters podcast. Let me do Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. It let me do a lot of things I enjoy to do. I don't want, this is, as they say, it's not a job if you enjoy what you're doing, right? So I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Ironically, this is my, or coincidentally, not ironically, coincidentally, this is my anniversary. So this is why we're on earlier than normal. Get out of here so I can enjoy this evening. And I'm hoping to see everybody next week. Actually, I hope to see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow, All Sports Matters podcast. Please. And for those of you who don't watch the show today, share. That's the main thing we can ask. If you don't watch the show live, whether it's tonight, whether it's tomorrow, please share. Get our likes up. I guess that's the way we want to trend too. You know what I'm saying? We want to get up there too. We're not doing this for money. We're doing this because we enjoy it. Obviously, the end goal is if we can, get a 30-minute slot on ESPN or Fox Sports 1. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We would love to do that, but we're enjoying what we're doing. And thank you for everybody for watching. And that is my show. See you guys tomorrow, All Sports Matters Podcast.